Okay, so this is my first vlog, I suppose they call them. Just thought to do a bit of a showcase of where I started and what I'm trying to get towards. So I'll start with Dark Angels. I'd spent quite a bit of time not putting much in the way of highlights on, and the end result was quite a flat miniature. Now I've always painted the guns blue. I just found that with red weapon casings it was just too red, and I just didn't enjoy looking at them, so I changed it to blue. I thought they're quite dark, and a nice dark blue sort of keeping in with their Death Forest world. So these two are from some old models. I'd spent quite a bit of time on this one back in the day, so there's a bit more detail in places, but you can see that I've not done the eyes. The swords, well, shocking really these days. So and the colours are a bit grainy in places, which I'm still struggling with, to be honest, but I'm trying to get better at it. So this is where I've sort of come from, and then a model that I did more recently was the Centurion, which it did a repair job on something I got on eBay, so you can notice there's some damage on it. So it's just where I've tried to fix it up again. Now Centurions obviously aren't in the Dark Angels Codex, apparently they're not allowed to take them, but well, these are on loan from somebody, shall we say. We'll just leave it at that. So just going for edge highlighting in most places. Now I use War Flesh and Warboss Green, I think, to highlight Caliban Green, and I think it just gives it a bit of a duller highlight as opposed to a really bright green that you can get with Warpstone Glow. And again, it goes back to them being from a Death Forest sort of planet, where the colours would be more subdued and they wouldn't stand out so much, and the bright greens it's like they're from Emerald City. So that's why I've always gone for highlights like that, and I've tried to get on with the lenses with these, the purity seals. There's a bit of fluff there, sorry. I'm recording this at work, so it's not where I'll usually be doing my recordings, or at least I hope not. So, and then Deathwing, some of the early days. The purity seals, thankfully I had some of the black ink from back in the day, and that sort of has let me do fine writing on purity seals. But you can see on a lot of it it's recessed almost yellow, as opposed to well, more of a brownish tinge on the modern day Deathwing. The lenses are quite simple. You can see I've not got it into the recess there. So this is going back a while, probably about 7 years or so. So hopefully I've progressed a bit since then. Now, although I haven't put any rings on the missiles, I think I've got the armour a bit better on these ones, which is, I think I did these last year. As you can see, I do struggle with quite grainy paint. You can see on his leg there. Well, I hope you can see. I mean, as I say, it's my first video log, so I don't know if the quality will come out in this. It might be completely out of focus and watching some squirrel climb up a tree. So, never mind. So yeah, I'll try and use Flow Aid and other products now to try and get rid of the graininess. It's not completely worked. A model that I did much more recently, I think it was the Warhammer World special when they did the new building. They had this model on, so I picked it up, and I've gone for a much more extreme sort of highlight on the gun casing. So it's from a much darker blue, and then again trying to increase my skills with lenses, getting more detail on it. I have hand painted that and I don't like it. But yeah. But you can still, on the cloak as well, it's still quite grainy and horrible. I don't know, but hopefully one day I'll figure out how painting actually works. So, but I haven't seen many people do the Terminator Captain in Deathwing colours. Most of them in ultramarines, so a bit of a twist. And then there's a few months back, so again still quite grainy on the face. So although some of the contrast is there that I wanted, it does look like she's been putting her makeup on with a spatula. And then for the gold I went for quite a cold gold. I don't have the paints list to hand, although I may have followed Duncan's advice on this one, or from Warhammer TV, on the colour scheme. So on the gun casing, I think that was corn red, highlighted Mephiston. It's a nice model. It's a shame I've not done more with it. I've said before, the bases, because I don't know how I want my army based, you know, I tried with this one, just dumped it in some sand and sort of left it at that. And I don't like it, and until I can figure out exactly how I want everything to be highlighted, I've sort of left it, not highlighted, based. Until I figure it out, I've just left them all blank. I know it means that they are missing something, but I'd rather it be blank than awful, you know, looking terrible. And then this I finished a couple of weeks ago, so I think it came out alright. I wasn't too happy with the sword. There's quite a lot of paint on there, so it's again quite grainy. I wasn't keen on the face, to be honest, just in general, so I went for the helmet. And with the armour, the gold, and a lot of the details, I wanted to keep it nice and clean. Whereas for the base, what I tried to do was go for a little bit more of a duller, maybe a bit of a dry brush sort of feel to it. So I tried to apply, let me just get a tool handy for a pen. So let's get that in focus. So around here, what I tried to do was I got some of the base colour that I'd used, and then just dry brushed a little bit onto the edges of the stone to make it look like dust has picked up a bit, and it's just caught on the edges, so it levels it out. But what I do want to do is get some of that sand or similar product, and then just smooth out these edges so it's a bit of a better gradient. And then the fire on it was, I've seen quite a few people make the entire thing basically one big flame, but I wanted to dull it down, make it look like more of it is smoke, because the big draw of it, the thing that you want to get your attention on is the sword, and I didn't want anything to take away from that. So again, you can see it's quite grainy and horrible. I did use a different gold, but it's hard to tell on this, but it had a different gold on the sword as opposed to what it did on the armour, just to represent that it's not his sword. Whether that works, I don't know. I think it looks okay. So overall, I'm more pleased with this model than I am with a lot of other models that I've done. Hopefully I can do the rest of this sort of standard. Next project is a Primaris Ancient, so I'll hopefully get a video about that, or at least some pictures up at some point. So thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully see you soon.